time is so important for both baby and mommy. So Nanny Robina visited this family to help ease baby to sleep without mommy's comforting touch.
No, shh. Normally when we go down for a nap, if I don't nurse him to sleep and then put him into the crib, he stays awake and doesn't sleep at all.
So what happens is it becomes a sleep association, right? He has associated the breast with sleeping. You take away the breast, he can't sleep. He physically does not know how to put himself to sleep at this stage. So we've got to take away the breastfeeding, we've got to take away mommy, and we've got to allow him to fuss down to sleep.
I've let him cry and he will just cry the entire nap time. So for me, I find it's so much easier to just let him nurse for 5 minutes and then he'll sleep and then he'll have his nap.
Clearly, Adrian has actually got used to soothing on the breast, falling asleep in the car seat, anything but his crib. A little bit of baby shenanigans is happening here. One of the things you could actually do, while you're in the chair and you're actually feeding him, if he needs feeding, okay, is have a small bowl of something here, a small bowl of ice, just tickle his foot. At the bottom of the foot with ice, it's not going to hurt him, to make him like come awake. We've got to stop him falling asleep on the breast. What time does he wake up in the morning?
Between 6:30 and 7:30.
Okay, and his first nap is?
It should be around 9,
okay.
9:30. That's when he starts to show signs that he's getting sleepy.
Okay.
He'll start rubbing his eyes, he'll start yawning, rubbing his hair and his ears.
He gets up at 6:30. 9 o'clock may be too late. He may have become overtired and that's why he doesn't settle well. So I've suggested she puts him down around 8:30. And then the same with the afternoon nap, that we're going to bring it forward a little bit.
Man, I wanted to fall asleep watching that. These are really good tips. So, interesting thing, he fussed for about 10 minutes and then he was out like a light.
It's always the way when the cameras roll, right?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10 it doesn't go the way you want it, but this time he didn't fuss for very long at all and he went down.
So there's the solution.
If
if you're sleep training, just get a City Line camera in your house and your child
Cameraman, soundman, yeah, I guess
that's all you need.
He was exhausted by it.
So let's talk a little bit about letting them get comfortable with putting themselves down, because that is a very good point, that they actually have to learn how to do it. They don't know how to do it.
No, you see, I think what happens is unintentionally you get into what you call a lot of sleep association habits, whether it's rocking like you saw mum there, it could be with the soother. There are so many, but that's how the baby falls asleep. And if he actually gets used to that, that's all he knows, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, if that is helping the baby get to sleep, it doesn't work long term. You know, eventually you are going to be forced to allow your baby to soothe himself.
Right.
You know, soothe himself, fuss, do the cry down, whichever word you want to use.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel better by saying fussing over the cry down, that's what it is. And I do realize, Tracy, the cry down is not for everybody, you know?
Yeah, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Because the cry down, this is what you call crying it out?
Yep, crying it out, cry down.
That was the word that kept being tossed about when both of mine were babies, and I just had no tolerance for it.
No.
So how long, if you are going to do the let them cry it out, how long can you let them cry for?
Do you know, every baby is different, and I think it really does depend on both, not just the age, but the weight of the baby. I actually have, my partner's sister's baby was probably 9 months, but was only in the 13th percentile. I actually said to her, I don't think you should sleep train, because she was so tiny and fragile.
Yeah.
I actually didn't think she looked strong enough, I have to be honest, you know?
Okay.
And so I think you have to take all that into consideration. So moving forward, the guidelines are you should not sleep train before 4 months.
They
under
just
4
can't
months.
do it.
No, and the baby's too young, and I really do suggest probably between 5 and 6 months is actually better.
Okay, so you're going to start to sleep train. What's the first thing you want to do?
The first thing you need to do is, first of all, schedule your baby. Because if you've just got your baby up and you want to put your baby down in an hour and he's not ready to sleep, you know, why would you allow your baby to cry? So you've got to know that when you do put your baby down and your baby is fussing and crying, that it is ready for sleep, that your baby is ready for sleep, I should say. You know, so you have to make sure, first of all, that you've scheduled your baby. Scheduling is the utmost importance.
Okay, so that's what you were saying to the woman in the tape. You were saying,
Yeah.
what are the signs that he's tired? He would rub his eyes, he would rub his head. So you know, you can put him down, and if he's fussing, he's actually getting himself to go down.
But I have to jump in, Tracy. Sometimes by the time they rub their eyes and do all that, sometimes you've actually missed that window. You know, it could have been 10 minutes prior, and that 10 minutes makes all the difference. So you have to be very, very careful. But yeah, most babies of a very young age generally need to go back to bed within 2.5 hours of waking.
Yeah.
So instead of going 9:30, if your baby's up at 6:30, that half an hour will make a huge difference.
Right.
If you catch it at the right time, the baby will go down much easier.
Okay, so how old was that baby in the story?
I believe he was 9 months.
About 9 months. So he's still doing what, 3 naps a day?
He's still doing, well,
2?
He really only needs to do 2 naps a day and probably a cat nap in the afternoon to tie him through.
Yeah.
And you know, I said it time and time again, put him to bed early. A lot of parents will think 7, 8 o'clock. Well, guess what? Some babies need to go to bed at 6 o'clock. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key.
Yeah, the problem is that then they get up at 4 a.m.
Yes.
Bing,
Well, you're not ready to get up at 4 o'clock.
and then you're like, you're going to bed at 10 o'clock tonight, kid. Now, you also say that not every baby sleep trains, so some are just not going to do it?
No, I can honestly say to you, some babies will not get onto a schedule so easy, and they will sit and do the fussing and the cry out 2 hours every nap time. Do you know? It's just, they're just not ready. They're not going to go there. You might as well abandon it and try again later.
Try again later when they're a little older.
Absolutely.
Okay, good tips.